I just realized I misnumbered. I left out 2. I'm an idiot.
Welcome to the internet, your gateway to adventure.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
Well, hello there. Well, hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I didn't realize I left that on, but either way, how's everybody doing? What's up, Twisted Soul Pirate, Jenny, Unnoticed Things, Exotic, JS, Pikapika, Y2 Integral, everybody else. Good evening to all of you. We have a whole bunch of things to talk about, even though it seems that there isn't that much happening in the game. But, you know, in Malcolms of Champions, there's plenty happening every single week. And we got all of the champion buff information. We obviously got early access of America Chavez. We got more updates on the Parry dexterity special throwing bug thing, a new week of Summer of Pain, and all that stuff. So we do have Mandalorian, my wonderful, wonderful co-host, right here with us, waiting to discuss all of that good stuff. Right?
Yay. Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody.
So, hope you all had a great weekend, ready for Monday, and you know, let's get down to the business. So, we have an update, timeline, fix issues. Well, we also had another Alliance Quest compensation, which I actually assume is not going to be the last one. At this point, I kind of pretty much expect and same type of compensation for next week of Alliance Quest, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be fixed by then.
Right. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think it's smart to do that. I think they should give some more revives than they actually do give. But that's just my opinion. But the extra glory is nice. I'll tell you that.
You know, this is kind of like meant to be specifically for AQ, as far as I gather. Yeah. And then we're gonna have specific compensations like revives and stuff and potions.
Yeah, well, I meant like revives for AQ.
Oh. Okay.
Because, yeah, obviously that's it's been almost 2 weeks since we've had the level 1 revives in the loyalty store. I keep track of that, and the fact that we have this issue ongoing, they should be really releasing those, like, if not permanent, like at least once a week. Also, if they're not giving us many.
Well, worst comes to worst, you can use some of the glory for revives still, because you can buy like revives every 2 hours. Huh?
A revive.
Yeah, but it refreshes in like every 2 or 3 days.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm quite
sure. No, the revive, it's once every week. It's once every
maybe
7 days. That's what kind of sucks about it. So like you could get one, yeah, definitely, but it's like that's like 250 or 260, whatever. But yeah, but it's barely enough to survive based on the the current state of the game. Because I'll tell you, I got wrecked yesterday. For some reason, like the timing was just off, and I got wrecked worse than normal. But yeah, it's still nice to have the extra glory, but it's not ideal. And I'm glad they're doing that, just for the simple fact that this is such a big bug and it's not fixed, and it's affecting majority of their players.
Yeah, well, like on a personal scale, like I'm perfectly like I haven't had like any extra revive use for most part, so the way I look at this is kind of bonus. Like I, for instance, went through Alliance Quest. I think last week I used like 1 or 2 revives, but like the small ones for entire thing. But in general, I'd leave the compensations even unclaimed for most, just so they stay longer and they just start.
Yeah, like this week for some reason, like I said, I have easier pass in my opinion, and I've had to use more revives than I normally do, which has been like 3. But at the end of the day, I normally don't use any on this variation, which is kind of weird for me. So that's why it's frustrating for me because I know I'm doing it, and I know that we are like we have adjusted for the most part for the Parry bug, and now whenever they fix it, we're gonna have to readjust back, which is gonna
Yeah,
suck.
but I think readjusting is going to be easier because the way we have adjusted is pretty much on being able to hit on that smaller parry window. When it's going to be a bigger parry window, it's going to be less of an issue.
Yeah, that is very true.
And well, again, with compensation, it's always the case. Like they're never going to compensate everybody exactly to what they use. There are going to be people like me who generally doesn't have had like any increase at all in the item use. There are going to be some people who use much more items or are unable to play Alliance Quest completely. So these compensations will never appease everyone. But in general, I think they're fairly decent amount for a week of Alliance Quest, especially for people who play lower maps, not map 7. Like, if you're playing like map 5 and if you're getting all the same stuff, man, you're golden.
Yeah. I still am not upset about it. I'm glad they got ahead of it with that aspect of it. You know what I mean?
But they
really
do
did.
promise us a couple more compensations. Many of you have asked, and we can confirm that that we will be working in compensation for this issue once it's been addressed, and we can measure the impact that it has had on the game and our players. So that is one after they fix it all, and that is kind of rumored to be the bigger one or assumed to be the bigger one. I personally haven't like really seen any concrete text directly from Kabam saying that it's going to be like a big or massive compensation or anything, but if it is, then that would be the one where you probably can find either some catalysts and crystal shards or some other stuff, whatever they want to do. But also, prior to that, we also plan on sending players a pack of potions and revives at some point next week. We also delivered players another Alliance Quest compensation earlier today, yes. So there's going to be another pack of potions and revives. Hopefully some energy refills is coming in as well, and stuff like that. So
I would hope so, yeah. Energy refills is definitely going to be needed.
Yep, for sure. So that's coming at some point next week.
Yeah, which is good. You know, I'm glad that they have done a really nice timetable. They have done the beta testing ahead of time to make sure it's not gonna just be like this is the fix. Like make sure other people actually thought it was a fix and stuff like that. So it's frustrating that it's taken this long and even a month after it's not going to be fixed, but hopefully not much longer than a month it'll be fixed. You know what I mean? And hopefully it won't come back up again in the future. Whatever they are doing and whatever they tested, hopefully it'll stop it from cropping back up.
Well, that is quite the thing. I genuinely don't mind that. Now, I mean, like, obviously I mind to a degree that they're taking as long as they are, but I prefer them take as long as they need then rush a fix that doesn't work and then rush something else that makes it worse and then fix it another 4 times. Because that in past has often been the case where a problem arises and they try to fix it and then it creates more problems. Like look at even the week 4 of Summer of Pain. So basically this parry problem creeped up, right? So they're trying to kind of like have a quick fix for the Summer of Pain and just extended the week, but they didn't extend the timer. They basically reset the quest, which ended up with a whole bunch of people getting an extra point. Now they have to go back and take the point away and stuff like that. And that is often the story with Kabam, where they just try to kind of quickly do something, and then it ends up shocking everybody even further.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that I think it's better that it's taken it a while if they get it right. That's the best way I can say it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. But well, hopefully it doesn't take them much, because here they say specifically that they do not think that they will release fix before the August 3rd update. So this month, remember guys, the update's coming on Tuesday, not on Monday. Just FYI.
Which they did last month.
Yeah, we did it last month, but normally it's Mondays.
Yeah, normally it's Monday, but last month they did it because of July 4th. Yeah. This time, I feel like maybe it may be Tuesdays from now on, which is fine.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But anyways, just keep in mind that the update's going to be Tuesday. And then at some point after that, we're going to have hotfix. most likely. So it means going to be another update to do. Until the update is out, the Summer Showdown basically is delayed indefinitely. So it's not going to start on 26th. It's not going to start whenever. It's just delayed. It is what it is. And
I kind of mentioned last week after we announced the second delay on KT time, I said don't expect this to be the last delay if it's not fixed. And now they finally have just said we're not going to announce when it's going to start until it's fixed, which I think is the right move. I don't think it's good to just keep delaying it and keep people thinking it's about to start and then it doesn't.
Yeah. And somebody's asking, is update this Tuesday? No, it specifically says that August the 3rd, so it's Tuesday after.
Yeah, there's another week and a few days of
it's
this
basically
Alliance
like
quest.
9 days or something like that.
Yeah, so 9 days from now, by 8th day, you'll get your update.
Yeah, and so Summoner Showdown is delayed, which is kind of good. Fine, especially how competitive some people will get with it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then whatever else is, they also mentioned that they will not start Alliance War season until a fix is available, which might be a problem as Alliance War season was set to start
August 4th.
August 4th, so that would be like a day after the update. So it is very, very, very likely that Alliance War season is going to be delayed for like a week.
Yeah, I think even if they fix it, they'll give us a week to make sure we can practice the new war stuff.
Yeah.
So probably, I would say the 18th is probably the
earliest.
Yeah,
11th or 18th is most likely when the season is going to start.
Yeah. But it's definitely been, but they've had a lot of long breaks between seasons, between the June long break.
Yeah, I know, that really always frustrates me. Honestly, it does. Whenever we get, like, if the season's 2 weeks and we get a 4-week off season, like, I'm fine with that so long as we have had a season, because that means that the rewards aren't pushed further and further back. And every time a random, like, 4 to 6 week off season appears, I'm like, for fudge's sake, kind of thing. If it means that the next season is being later.
Because, in June, they took a month off of war to get the new thing out. Then it started, and it was not working right. And then we only got 2 weeks of it, and then they shut it down prematurely. And now we're waiting another 4 to 6 weeks. And it's just frustrating.
It really is, but it generally is frustrating. But then again, we're going to get to Alliance War in a bit. But,
yeah.
Maybe it's good.
Maybe.
Because the Alliance, we're going to talk about the Alliance have changed full later on. But yeah, so that is anyways the situation with the game. Beta is concluded, I believe. They're working on a fix.
Yeah, it concluded.
It will not be live. They don't think it's going to be live before August the 3rd. And that is the time that update comes. So you have to kind of try and finish all your monthly affairs with the game such as it is, or you just gonna lose the rewards in like monthly event quest, monthly side event, and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. Correct. And I think the best thing to do is right now see what kind of compensation they're sending through, and then decide how much that can cover you and what you can and can't do.
I agree with that.
And,
I agree, and that's all we can do.
Yeah. And till then, we can move on to Summer of Pain, right?
Oh, controversy of pain.
Mild inconvenience of pain. Mildly inconvenience.
It's definitely become the mild inconvenience of pain. This has been, they originally said the first 3 weeks would be quote unquote warm up.
First 3 weeks were significantly harder.
Yeah, well, it's like once they introduce the objectives, and I've said this before, once they introduced the objectives for Thronebreaker, they put themselves in a box where they couldn't make it too difficult. And it made it easier for everybody.
Yep.
And this week proved that it was the easiest week, in my opinion.
Pretty much all last 3 weeks, to be honest, have been like ridiculously easy.
Yeah. This week, though, I mean, I thought it was the easiest Summer of Pain boss I've ever faced, and it's one of the most hated bosses too.
Yeah, but they didn't give him the healing that he had in Act 6. That's one thing, and second
that's,
thing,
I think, the big, which granted, with as much as the health pool is, I guess, yeah, but maybe they could
I mean,
have
I
nerfed
guess
it a
it
little
would
bit and kept the
depend how
healing.
it would scale and stuff.
Yeah. But mm, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they put themselves in a corner. This week was super easy in my opinion. If you had the right counters ranked up, it felt easier in my opinion.
Oh, it definitely
It felt
does.
like if you had two champions ranked up, Magic and
Mojo.
sorry, what was it? Mojo? Yeah, if you had Magic and Mojo ranked up, and you had anything in Mystic Dispersion, really, you just won the fight.
Yep. Pretty much, because, yeah, well, just to do the fight, first of all, it's Ronin, right? Any fight
Yeah.
that exists as a Ronin cheese is an easy kind of like tick, you know? Because, yeah, they gave him those promise nodes, promise buffs, so...
Ronin just ate it up.
Yeah, Ronin just ate it up. And as far as the rest of the fight goes, yeah, the fact that, you know, he doesn't have level 3, he starts gaining those promises, and then, like, there are, I don't know, 30 Mystic Champions in game that benefit from opponent having buff.
Yeah.
Cool. In general, it was definitely quite an easy one to do, and so how the last 3 been. Like the Darkhawk, if you had Magneto, super easy. If you didn't have Magneto, still doable. Like I did it with like rank 1 Red Skull and some other weird champions, stuff like that, so
Right.
it definitely wasn't like that bad. And then especially if you kind of like got a bit of practice in or saw how to do the fight specifically. And then we had what, Venom?
Yeah, Venom was fairly easy myself, I thought. If you had like
Venom was
it's been
again
like
Venom was a fight for literally every single champion in the game, just kind of like very long one. Boring
yeah,
one.
I felt like the last 2 weeks the Mystic champions have shined. Like Symbiote Supreme did that fight really easily too.
Ronin was a beast last 2 weeks. Against
Yeah.
Venom you couldn't stun lock, but you could still get insane attack values. And yeah.
I've seen I Immortal Hulk has been able to take every week apparently.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, if you're not looking for the objectives, obviously he's a great champion to have. But I really don't think it's gonna get too much worse. Maybe we'll see the final week. But
yeah, maybe final week's gonna be a bit spicy. I generally don't like after Toothless second kind of like period, half, whatever. But basically, if you split it in 3 parts, week 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and then 7 to 9, then week 1 to 3 was actually the best one, the most interesting one. And I liked it by far the most. Then weeks 4, 5, and 6, all of them seem just bleh. I also want to make sure that somebody's not taking me out of context here. I'm very happy if you like the fight for you.
Yeah.
Anybody is free to enjoy whichever fights they like. If you think it was appropriate difficulty for you, that's fine. You're available to think so. I'm not gonna try and stop you. If you think it's too hard for you, there's no shame in that. You can go and think whatever you want. I personally disagree. My best characterization and description of this was if it manages to take an item from me a week, I would be happy for that week, in a sense.
Yeah.
But so far it has taken 0 items to do all the milestones. And I do realize everybody's gonna be like, oh, you have stacked roster and all that stuff. Yeah, it's true, but I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking, like, come on, like just make the fight genuinely hard that even if I have a good counter, I'd have to use like a Riva or something, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is where I stand. Super happy for all the cows. I have heard that there are going to be cow players with like 9 6-stars that become Thronebreaker after this event.
Good.
And also different things. So, like, you know, good on you all. Congratulations. I do not necessarily think that it is healthy for a player to become a Thronebreaker with 9 6-stars and then unlock content that's gonna whoop your bottom for foreseeable future. But hey, you know, if you're able to do it, good on you. Congratulations. All the best to you. Genuinely don't mind it. But on a personal note, whether I enjoy this content, I did enjoy the first 3 weeks, and the last 3 weeks I've been kind of like, nah, it's just boring.
Yeah, that's kind of been my gist of it. I mean, it's like, well, at least I can have something to do, but it's not necessarily the end-all, be-all hard content that they promised.
Yeah,
and
definitely
I don't think they could.
And somebody was making that argument that since they allowed cow players, this isn't like meant to be end-all, be-all content and stuff like that. But it really was. As in, like, it was advertised as one. I actually double-checked on Kabam blog. I'll pull it up in a second, and I'll use the language that Kabam used for us.
Right. Well, and I think they also back themselves in a corner when they allow Cav players. Then they have these Thronebreaker objectives, and then it's also timed content. When it's timed content, you also put yourself in a situation where you can't make it too extremely hard, or else
you can't make it too extremely specific. You know.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of painting themselves in a corner here.
It really is. One second, let me find the dev diary.
Yeah, it was a forum post too, I think, but yeah.
I remember from dev diary. I just need to make sure where it was. Chavez, Spotlight, International Women's Day, Boss Rush, Spotlight. When was the diary? Did I scroll past it already?
That's what I think it was a
post.
No,
here we go, dev diary. Here we go.
Okay, got it.
Gotcha.
Good.
So I got the dev diary in front of me, and the way they advertised and announced wait, whoopsie, is this the right one?
I don't know. I'm looking at it just.
Oh no, updates to Cavalry difficulty in 2021. Whoopsie. I might not scroll past it.
I want to say it was a forum announcement. I remember.
I'm sure it was in the diary. One sec. I'll go to the first one. Or second page.
And just for everybody always asking, KT has always said.
Here we go,
his
dev
first
diary.
rank 4. His first rank 4 would be a prestige champion. It's probably going to be Doom. So there you go.
Yeah.
And it probably will be after 7.3 comes out, but we'll see.
The summer of pain, it is time. The summer is upon us, and the pain will come. We kept you waiting, but now it's time for a collection of truly insane challenges. Every week, running from June through to the end of August, we'll release a new single fight, standalone fight. The devilish fights will be tough in their own right, but accompanying them will be a collection of brutal solo objectives that will test your roster skill, patience, and the structural integrity of your mobile device. Sure. Test my mobile device structural integrity.
Again, I think a lot of it, if you have a developed roster,
yeah, I know.
It does become a lot easier. And I will say that, if I didn't have a ranked up magic, or let's say my magic wasn't duped, or all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
it would have been a harder fight.
It would have been a harder fight, but like I did the solo with like Black Widow Deadly Origins in like 3 or 4 tries.
Yeah, well, it's just the fact, again, I'm thinking of the shield.
Yeah, Black Widow Deadly Origins shield.
Black Widow Deadly Origins can do it, yes.
Yeah, I soloed it, like rank 2 Black Widow Deadly Origins, like, super easy. It's in the video.
Again, a rank 2 Black Widow Deadly Origins is not what majority of people have.
Yeah, there are videos of 6-star rank 1 Captain America, and Captain America's definition of a shit champion.
Yeah, no, I'm not, and again...
I know what you mean. Obviously, for Thronebreakers, they are a bit roster-specific. They really are.
Yes.
But, yeah, you still can use Nick Fury. It's going to be a long fight and stuff like that. Like, it's same as last week with Venom. Not everybody had, like, the Symbiotes ranked up, but even if you didn't have anything ranked up, you could literally do that fight with Agent Venom. It would be long.
Yeah, it's just a longer fight.
Yeah,
it's just a longer
that's
fight.
what
That's all it is. And if you mess up, you may have to revive her too, but that's fine.
Yeah. So anyhow, I don't know. My excitement for the entire thing has just gone down. First 3 weeks, it was like, yeah, thumbs up. Now it's kind of like, take it or leave it. You like? Good for you. Super happy for you. Super happy for anybody becoming Thronebreaker because of it and all that other good stuff. Legitimately, that's not kind of like me trying to be two-faced or anything. People are always, divided in their opinions, and that is perfectly fine. It's just that from me, where I stand and where I look at the game, the content is good in terms of rewards for a ton of people, but when it comes to being fun, exciting, rewarding, challenging, devilish, or testing the structural integrity of mobile device, that it is not. That it is definitely not.
Yeah. I agree.
So there we go. For those of you who still have not done it, I do have, I would like to think, a very good guide out on all of the easier ways how to deal with every objective, and for cow players, how to get it easily done. But again, as many people mentioned, like, you just 2-star Ronin can do the fight, so I'm sure that not as many people needed help with it this time than before. Was that highly adopted thing? Still got 13k views, not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is, we're gonna see what happens in week 7. I personally do hope that they pick it up a bit, but we'll see when we see it, and we can move on to discussing the Alliance War.
Yeah, Alliance. Well, wait, no.
Yeah.
We have to talk about American Chavez.
Oh crap! Yeah, never mind. American Chavez. Alliance War is last.
And then the buff breakdown. The war's last.
Okay, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna rant and end. Never mind. I mixed up. For whatever reason, I thought that war was next. All right, America Chavez. We have America Chavez. Well, I don't have America Chavez.
I have her as a 4-star. She is Diversity Chavez. She's not the greatest.
So we have seen some videos of her as well already. Even if you don't have her, you definitely have plenty of information.
I believe that Hercules was the best champion they released this month, obviously, and I kind of feel like nothing was going to appease her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing was going to make her the greatest, but she's really bad.
Yeah, I wanted to say the best characterization, the best thing that I have heard about her is that she's fun to play.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Exactly.
And that's about it. And her biggest problem is, I believe, as a Mystic champion, that she absolutely sucks in every single matchup where there are not many buffs involved.
Yeah.
And if there are plenty of buffs involved, then she can do alright decent damage. However, the problem is, literally every single viable Mystic champion performs much better than she does if opponent has many buffs. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the class's MO. It's kind of like she's good at exactly the same stuff that everybody else in Mystic class is good at, except that they're better. And they're also better, typically, even if opponent doesn't have buffs.
Well, and this also comes a month where we got Diabolord, which has been amazing.
Oh, Diablo, man. Oh, so juicy.
Yeah. And it just comes to show that they can... I don't know. It seems like every time they release a Mystic, they never...
This year, they have butchered all 3 Mystics. They really have.
Yeah.
I can pull up the Mystics of 2021. They have 3 Mystic champions this year, at least. Every single one of them is awful.
They've been bad. They've been really bad. I don't know.
Yeah, so... Well, we have Scarlet Witch. That is actually a good champion, but she was made in 2020, so I don't really count her in that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
They have released Chavez, Mangog, and Purgatory. And honestly, it's like Mangog is looking like the best one, and he's not a good champion.
He's trash. Yeah, I was going to say, apparently he was really good also for the fight, from what I heard.
Yeah, apparently he was for XL Villain Milestone.
Yeah, but no, it just,
And
It's just
by the way, people are asking, this is where I finished. I did like a fairly lazy grind. This was one of the lazier grinds that I have done for like any champion anytime recently. And
hey, you still did it.
yeah, it's 106 million. So
I'm curious what the cutoff was, but yeah, nice.
here is 86 million for rank 97.
Okay, so around the high
86
80s.
million basically. But yeah, I don't know. Is it that they fear Mystic Dispersion, or is it something else? But every one of these champions seem like they could be quite decent or good at what they do, but they all seem that their numbers are just butchered and half, basically.
Right.
Like, if you would give them twice the amount of damage that they have now, I don't think they would be considered remotely broken. I think they would be considered as just like, you know, all right. As in like befitting kind of like a relatively good champion status.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like you literally give them 2 times damage multiplier, and then they would be kind of like, you know, quite, you know, quite good.
What I get frustrated with is it almost feels like it feels like the more they keep releasing these mediocre champions, the more they're making themselves have to buff more.
It's kind of hard one of that, like, cause I do generally think that all 3 this year's Mystics need a buff already, and I don't know. I think it's either that they are setting them up for a buff, or they are setting them up for a powerful gears.
Yeah.
Because that could very well be the case, because I think these champions are already being designed with gears in mind.
Oh, that's trash.
Because
that's
gears are set to
trash.
come as soon as 2-3 months from now.
Yeah, and that's gonna be trash if that's all these champions are gonna be good for, to have gears.
I generally think that's why we have seen a trend of a ton of champions being underpowered comparatively to average champion in the game. And they will have broken gears. And the champions that are amazing right now will just have shitty gears.
Yeah.
Venom Pool is a better Mystic than all 3 of these ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that
he's
is true,
gonna
though.
be. We're talking about the buffs in just a bit, but yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so America Chavez, well,
Doesn't look that promising.
she doesn't inspire anybody. Like, and like, here's another thing: introducing America Chavez is kind of like, you know, well, at least it was meant to be a bit of a statement. You know, we all know exactly why America Chavez is added to the game, and it's not because she's the most popular comic character. It's not because she's Sandman or Adam Warlock or whatever else. There is a specific idea and reason why they added it when they added her. And I just think that making her this fucking horrible kind of like undermines that entire shit. If anything, I genuinely expected, if for nothing else, than for those reasons, and those reasons only, her to be the next Ghost.
Yeah.
I genuinely, there was like a part of me that didn't want to kind of like write her down, because I thought, like, you know, knowing everything that we know about, well, powers that be in year 2021, I generally thought that, you know, well, maybe not necessarily Ghost, but I did expect her to be good, just because of what kind of statement that character was making when it was decided to be added.
Exactly. I kind of felt the same way, and it just, especially with Hercules coming in again, we knew they were going to do well with Hercules, and he's proven to be quite a obtainable and highly sought after character.
Quite an obtainable? I think you mean unobtainable, dude. 186 million arena points. That's a definition of unattainable.
No. Everybody's got at least a 3-star, and the 3-star can do wonders.
I know.
But what I also mean is obtainable. I mean, like, people want to.
No.
Highly sought after. The arena also proved.
I know what you meant. It's just that it isn't what you said.
Yeah, I know. Maybe my wording wasn't the best. Forgive me. I'm recovering from allergy issues, and the medicine is still clouding my judgment. But yeah, he's definitely the better champion.
Oh yeah, That's not even close. I actually haven't used him too much in the last few days since I made a video. I need to get in on, like, you know, playing around with him a bit more. A ton of people are absolutely praising him. But then again, I have heard at least from 9 different people, oh, I brought Hercules to Alliance War. Good direct.
Yeah, I'm not, even with off season, I mean, maybe I would have played better than I did yesterday because I literally used items just to have them in overflow and such, and I got trashed.
Yeah, like majority of the people who have brought in Hercules got in trash. And yeah, his immortality might fail, that's another thing. Alliance or stuff like that. But, you know, overall though, I must say that he's a very enjoyable champion to play. I still don't know exactly, you know, where he's going to be and how used he's going to be and all that other stuff. But I can tell you that he's very fun to play.
Yeah, he's absolutely fun to play. That's what I gotta say. I was a little worried with him being a ramp up, character, and it just seems like he's still really fun because you don't have to. You can ramp him up in fight, and then you can ramp him up where he's already pre-ramped up the next fight. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, a bit, eventually. Though it does take quite a few fights to get him, like, all the way up. Though I do like running him with Immortal Hulk, because I like Immortal Hulk, and that synergy is very good for Immortal Hulk. And that gives him the three strengths immediately at the beginning of the fight.
Which is amazing. And then, like, during the fight, obviously you have the ability to get 3 to carry over, but you can get really as many as you want as long as the fight's going. And the more you get, the more powerful you are.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, Chavez by comparison is such a turd.
Chavez is the turd. Hercules is the
real
shiny
turd.
The only reason to get
I mean, again, I haven't
anything...
personally had the chance to play with her, and I will grind for at least a 5-star. I don't know if I have a 6-star grind in me, to be honest, because she's, no matter how trash she is, she's still gonna go for 120 plus million. 130 million probably, something like that. Because she is second highest Mystic Champion prestige. As a 5-star rank 5 and as a 6-star rank 3 as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like there's so many Mystics out there that are better.
Of course there are, but you know, any new champion will always go 100 plus million. Period. They could really, literally release a poop emoji, and so long as it would be considered as a 6-star champion and could be used in arena or whatever, people would grind 100 plus millions for him. It could literally be like a shit emoji, and people would grind 100 plus millions for it. As long as it's like a new champion. Doesn't matter how good or bad. And then, yeah, if there's anything at all to the champion, like Chavez, well, first of all, there's always a chance that she can and will get buffed, because she needs it. And second of all is that, yeah, she does have second highest prestige in Mystic class, so.
And the first highest being Doom, correct?
Huh?
First highest being Doom
is
and the
the highest,
second is
but
her,
she's
correct?
higher than Claire's, that was considered to be high and stuff like that, so.
Correct.
She's higher than Tigra, Scout Witch, Sorcerer Supreme, Mango, Claire, all of them.
Yeah, I still think that if you had to choose between Black Widow and her, and you had Doom already, then I would definitely pick.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not talking about that. It's just that, you know, somebody might have Doom and another champion like somewhere up high in prestige and needs another prestige rank up or something. You never know what people do.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think we've said all we need to say there. Now let's talk about next month's buffs that we know for sure. We knew who they were last week. Now we know all about what they are.
Oh yeah, and actually they do look quite spicy. So which one are you in the mood?
Let's start with King Groot. Let's just do the same we did last week. King Groot, Venom Pool, and then Hood. So
cool.
King Groot.
King Groot, here we go. What do you think of King Groot changes?
It was exactly what we needed. They didn't change really much of him. They gave him a little bit more ability to do some damage, and I think it's going to be a good addition. You know what I mean? He was good before in some parts. He had horrible damage, obviously. He had his permanent armor break. He had his awaken ability to allow him to heal. He had the poisons was special too. And the one thing I could say I'm disappointed with, and I think you mentioned in your breakdown video, was they didn't give him any ability to like access that poison.
Besides the level 2. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Overall, just a better champion.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah, so the only real new thing as far as I could tell was pretty much the power drain, power burn immunity, which is fair enough.
Yes,
and everything else was basically a way to enhance all of the stuff that he already had. There's that new malice mechanic, but that malice mechanic effectively just represents his fury phase, and that's about it. And then other than that, he gains charges faster, and that's cool. But again, they just enhanced everything that he had. So he's going to be harder hitting better version of himself, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like the malice is in order for them, because before there was just a timer, it didn't really have like any representation of what it was doing or whatnot. And I think that's not only to give representation of what it's doing, but also to allow that to be in another champion down the road too.
Yeah, probably.
Whether it be buffed or a new champion.
Oh, the only other new thing is that he can now fight against robots because his Cosmic Breath deals like a burst damage.
Yes, that's kind of cool.
And it's that the damage is tripled against robot champions. But yeah, other than that, there's pretty much nothing new in his kit, which I'm perfectly fine with. I already said that kit-wise, as a Cosmic Champion, he's actually one of the most versatile champions, you know. And the bleed immunity, guaranteed debuff shrug off, crap ton of heal, like permanent armor breaks, fury buffs, and access to poison. That's literally 10 times more than like Nova has and a bunch of other Cosmic Champions, you know?
Right. No, he definitely has been moved up in the Cosmic class, and we've always said that the Cosmic needs some more help. So this was a nice thing to have happen. And again, it doesn't really change anything in his kit that makes him like less of what he did well before. I'm curious to see, because like I said, I have a rank 5 awakened version of him because I used to use him for acid wash before I got better options.
I'm genuinely looking at him, and if he hits hard enough, I do have a duped 6-star that might get ranked up.
I wish my 6-star was duped, because I would probably take him to at least rank 2. But yeah, I
have a Cosmic rank up gem, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm just gonna quickly flop it in the guy. It's only 620, but still.
You know? Still, no, that's definitely a good thing. So,
yeah. No, that healing is a bit rubbish, but.
Yeah, I know. And it needs the healing. I mean, the awakened ability to heal anyway, which is kind of a bummer, but because that's kind of half of the utility he really brings to the table.
Yeah, he does need to be awakened in general.
But he still gets the damage and stuff done, and the other parts.
Yeah, I want to see how his SIG scales.
Ooh, yeah, I do. You look at it. I don't know how much it is on a.
Oh, you really want him to be high SIG?
Another high SIG.
Yeah. Basically, at SIG 20, he heals 2,200, 2,400, or something like that. So SIG 20, he heals up 3,000 health as a 6-star rank 3. Yeah.
Wow.
3,000. At SIG 200, he heals 9,000, nearly 10,000. That's so much healing. And there's like ridiculous amounts of healing.
That's like sustainable healing. Like you could even eat a couple combos to the face and War if you brought him in. And I'm glad we'll talk more about War in a second. But yeah, anyway. Yeah. So that's King Groot.
But no, I like that he can do 3 armor breaks on level 1 now a lot. Because before it was like unrealistically slow to ramp him up there at the level 1s. But he's able to throw 3 out. Like here, we can see that, you know. First of all, he had 90% chance to apply armor break. It was always so annoying when you didn't. Like you throw level 1, nothing happens. And now, on the special one, inflict 3 armor breaks, 100% chance to activate. And the armor break is about the same, I believe, or maybe tiny bit stronger, but it's max stacks 10, so it's, you know, 1 more that you can drop. But you normally going to end up with 9 anyways, because you're going to be throwing 3 level 1s for the most part. And
yeah,
if you
I was
spend
gonna
1
say
Malus, then they're indefinite as well.
it kind of reminds me of Cole Obsidian, because if you get at least 3 armor breaks with Cole Obsidian, he's got crazy damage. And I don't think it's gonna be that crazy, but it just helps when you have that armor break
Yeah, of course,
on.
because his Furies are going to be more potent, and they get more potent as long as the fight goes and all that other good stuff. And he's going to be having more of the Furies to begin with. And don't forget that with heavy attacks, you can pause poison armor break debuffs on opponent for 3 or 6 seconds. So you can kind of probably, if you have a relatively straightforward fight, keep up poisons pretty much indefinitely.
Right. That would be really nice if you could do that, because then it won't be so much of a...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, it's like once you get to special 2, as long as you hit, you get the special, you get the poison, and then for acid wash, it's just keeping it up rather than having to keep going to special. Because then you can spam the special 1, get the armor breaks. With the Furies, it's going to have a lot of damage as long as that poison stays on.
Yeah, and realistically, out of every single one of the buffs, I think King Groot has the highest chance to be actually played and viable and usable even in top tier content, because he already is. Just not by like a huge group of people, but plenty of people have him at rank 5 because of his healing, because of his tankiness. And he still has all of that, plus more damage, which was always his Achilles heel. I genuinely am super, super hopeful for King Groot. I didn't think that I'm ever going to say those words out loud, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, again, one half of the Groot's down. Can we get the other Groot to get a buff now? So
yeah, it was surprising, to say the least, that this one got the buff first.
Correct. But I think that's good. Should we move on to the Pool of Venom?
The Pool of Venom, the new chef of Marvel Concert Champions. The Gordon Ramsay of MCOC, if you will.
The Gordon Ramsay. I am most... Even though I don't have a special... I mean, not special. I don't have a 6-star... I wish I did now, but I have a 5-star, which I have at rank 3 now, and I'm very interested to see how he's going to be, because he may be another fun little symbiote to have on my team now, especially with synergies and all that fun stuff. I'm most happy to see that he's going to have the ability to... It's not a permanent thing, unfortunately, but he has the ability to shut down Spider-Verse champions now.
Well, it will be permanent once you get it the first time.
Yeah. I mean, but it doesn't, like, start the fight. Yeah. So you can still have some mishaps happen if you... Like, in other words, I won't be throwing a full, and I would not recommend a full 5-hit or medium light.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been like, oh, even on my streams and stuff like that, have been like, oh, he's going to be so much better than Venom, and he's going to be like the new best symbiote and all sorts of stuff like that. And
I don't think that,
I'm not saying that he's not going to be. I'm just saying, to me, it is quite silly to kind of like jump to that conclusion, first of all. And a lot of things that people don't realize, which is exactly coinciding with one of the recent videos that I made, is that ease of access and that, you know, reliability of utility is often more important than the quantity or potency of those utilities. And with Venom, that is the cool thing. When you bring him in, against Spider Champions, they just don't do anything. That's it. Unless you somehow, Fisty Huffs or something like that, and you get that buff removed. But in general, every single fight they just don't wait. And with Venom Pool, yes, there is that pre-fight. If he's duped, you can have higher chance for that specific buff to activate first. But at the same time, it's not a guarantee. It's never a guarantee. And the second thing is, you still start with none of them, unless you, again, are synergized, which, again, is completely different kind of worms. But I do believe that he will have much higher top-tier ceiling, as in, like, fully ramped up Venom Pool is probably going to be a bit different beast than Venom. But I don't think that he necessarily is going to be more popular for Map 7 or Alliance and stuff like that. Because there, the most important things are now, guaranteed, will happen, don't pray to RNG, this kind of thing. So we'll see. Anyways, But again, to say the least, I think at the very least he looks like very, very, very fun champion to play with, and he might be very, very, very good champion as well.
Yeah, again, I'm a big sucker for symbiotes.
I know you are.
I always have been. I have been. It has a special place because the symbiotes came out when I was first diagnosed with my disease. Not to get on a rambling here, but just saying,
No,
it was
we,
it was basically at a time in my life where Venom and then Maximum Carnage and all that happened, and I hold them to high regard, and the fact that they're not trash now. Plus, the missus bought me a pop statue. The first pop she ever got me was a Venom pool, and I was like, "Oh, that's great," but he's trash in the game, which sucks. Now he won't be trash anymore, which is awesome. And I told her that the other day. She's like, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "Yes, it is very good. I'm happy now." So anyway, long story short.
Anyway, long story short, I
always
have the
happy.
coolest pop of them all.
Yeah, I got the. Yeah, I know you got your moment.
Mine is awesome. I just need a
but-
Giganto Junior to put him
Yeah,
on.
if they should if they have like 7-inch figures and then they have the 10-inch figures. If they made either a 7 or a 10-inch of him, that would be so awesome because you could put him on. Yeah. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I do have a new pop figure myself. It's a 10-inch one, and it's a Mandalorian with a little baby Yoda he's holding.
Cool.
I'll take a picture and show it to you guys
definitely.
later. But yeah, anyway. Venompool looks like he'll be fun. And if anything, worst case scenario, he's going to be fun to play, and he won't be like oh god, I got Venompool instead of Venom.
But those buffs
kind
do
of
look
thing.
quite cool, considering that you're going to be getting like all 5 of them, and then you're going to be getting a bunch of Furies, and then you can like double up on them to like, maximize the bonuses and stuff. So 700 critical rating, 15% combat power rate, 700 attack rating, and shut down spider evade. Then you deal burst of damage, 25%, burst of 25% physical damage, malice, so 100% fury buff potency, and then you can get a whole chunk of furies that last 60 seconds, which is like considerable amount of time. So I do think that once he's going to be like fully ramped up, it's going to be quite happy day in the office,
Yeah. I think it'll be. Like I said, it'll be nice to have on your team if you bring like Carnage and Roblin and Venom and Symbiote Supreme, all them. Like you'll have another symbiote. You can have a whole symbiote team and not be trash now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which would be nice to see.
For sure,
So we'll see.
and he has some very cool synergies as well.
That's what I'm really looking forward to. The synergies.
Like you have that stun chance. You can have it on every special, not just special 2.
Yeah.
And then you have that ice armor that can give you basically stun immunity as well and armor rating.
That's the one I'm really looking forward to, is the one that gives you stun immunity, because you know how awesome that'd be for like stun reflect nodes and stuff like that.
Against tech champions, he can be not only shock immune but also incinerate immune. I kind of really dislike that his immunity is only against tech champions though.
Yeah, I know, but it still is cool because again, that would make him with a synergy. I think only the second champion that's available to have shock and incinerate immunity.
Yeah, but it's only against techs though.
Yeah, I know. If it was against all, that's the only thing. I feel like it's gimped. I don't know why they didn't make it
does
against
feel it's
everything.
I think that they could have given him just the immunities flat out.
Yeah, I think they should have just given it to everybody.
Yeah. Also, that synergy with Cap America Infinity War is awesome. Where the perfect block chance, 21%. That means you can have the longer parries and stuff like that.
It just overall, it looks like they did him justice, even though we had to wait 2 years later than the buff from Venom and Carnage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
For sure.
So yeah, happy with him. And now, unless there's anything else you want to say about Venompool before we move on.
Well, what else I want to say about Venompool? That I too am slightly pissed off that I don't have him as a 6-star.
Well, there you go.
And
that's one of those.
Another thing that I'm slightly pissed off is that we haven't had the selector arena this month yet.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with
that. Because I want to
do
my Diablos. Like, what gives?
I hope that isn't a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they don't stop doing those, because
I
those
hope they
are
don't
really
even
cool.
skip this one, to be honest. I want my Diablo dupe.
Well, that's what I'm a little worried about because it's been so late, and now we already have the next one's coming out. I
Yeah,
don't
and this
know.
is technically like a shorter month.
Yes. This is a very short month.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I was like, man, this is a really short compared to, normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, long story short, I hope they do have those back because I would like to actually go for a 6-star Venom pool.
Yeah,
Or
me too.
even, I would even do maybe 2 rounds and try and dupe my King Groot also. Because I think I have a duped hood already. If I don't have a duped hood, I definitely just have
I do,
him.
yeah.
But anyway. But yeah, anyway, we'll see. But speaking of hood,
Yeah.
we finally get our hoodie back, and while it's basically like putting everything back that was taken away last time and then giving him back the bullets, the hex bullets and all that stuff again, I do feel like they also made him easier to get more bullets put into him because before I think it was like easy to run out of them.
I still think it's gonna be easy to run out of them, and they definitely have taken away his damage as well. He will not have as much
they
damage.
took away, and his energy, the energy damage, yeah, they took that away too. They've taken away some things, but I don't know. I think he can still be good. I don't think he's gonna be the best, but I also feel like though, even though they may have taken away the bullets, like where you could run out still, he still has his other kit. His other part is still can do the staggers. He can still do the fate seal and such. And I think it's going to make it where he's not useless if he runs out of bullets. He's still like his old self, so to speak. With that, I don't know. What about you? What else are you? I mean, we can go through the breakdown, obviously, of him. But
Yeah.
what overall, what are you feeling so right now, just off the bat with him? KT?
Okay, yeah. Right off the bat, it's kind of difficult to say because this is another situation where he got less of what made him good before in order to keep what makes him good now this time around, and I'm just kind of worried how it's all gonna go and flow together.
I mean, we're gonna have to definitely
We're
wait.
definitely
and
gonna
see
have
with
to
this
play
one.
test and we're gonna have to see and all that other stuff. But the fact that invisibility still functions exactly as it did, and that was kind of like one of the pain points before, where invisibility against like multi hit projectiles was considered to be significantly weaker, but they didn't like change anything. They just like shoved it back in. The bullet mechanic, I know many people liked it, and it is quite cool, but again, that reloading is going to be a bit trickier, and also the fact that the bullet mechanic is going to do less damage now because you can't access the energy vulnerability.
Yeah, that's kind of a pain. They took that away. I don't think keeping that would have made him overpowered, but whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just gonna say how I feel it, and absolutely nothing about Hood's situation from start to finish feels good to me. And
It doesn't.
even this right now is not like some sort of feels good moment, because to me, like, this entire Hood boss situation, even right now, feels that he took another champion slot and he didn't get pretty much anything changed. It took them half a year to basically give him back the Fate Seal and take away the energy vulnerability. That was pretty much what they did to the champion in half a year, and then they use that as one of the champion slots basically in order not to do like another champion. So in general, he might be a great champion now. Could be. I'm sure there are going to be people that love him, but due to how this entire thing has gone down, how long it has taken, how Kabam has gone about it, and all that other stuff, it's just, I don't know, like, my face kind of cringes up a bit every time somebody mentions Hood. I'm like, because I don't know, it's just kind of shit. Like, they messed up Odin, they rebuffed Odin, and that was an extra buff, for instance, right?
Yeah, that's what bothers me, is that should have been the same thing. But I don't know. Before we go too far, Devastator had asked, and I want to address this too, will he have the same healing as before? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. The previous healing was bugged to begin with. He was never meant to heal as much as he did.
Yeah, so he's definitely not going to have that
Unless
healing
it's
mechanic
bugged
as
again.
high. Yeah, if it's bugged again, then they're going to have to fix
Yeah.
it, but don't look at it as a permanent thing to have.
He was never
It's
meant to
just
heal as
because-
much as he did when you got to play with him the first time around.
Yeah, because it was just you were healing every time the staggers fell off versus when it was
No, you're meant to be
nullifying.
healing every time the stagger expires, but we
Yeah.
were healing every time the stagger basically got removed in any matter, whether it was replaced by another stagger, whether it fulfilled its duty
Yeah.
and nullified the buff,
That's
or
what
expired.
I mean. It was only supposed to be
One of those
it wasn't
three
supposed
occasions.
to be like every
basically.
time it reapplies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically it let you heal about 4, 5, 6, 7 times as much as you were meant to.
Right. So it's definitely not going to be. He's not going to be the healing all champion. Now he'll still be able to heal a little bit,
Yeah.
which is not bad, but it's definitely nothing to write home about.
But yeah,
it's
with
not
this good
a
buff, I mean, like,
Diablo
again, I know plenty of people will be super happy. Like, I wasn't too much into the whole hood thing before. Maybe he's gonna like, grow on me a bit more, but yeah, whenever I see that guy in front of me on the screen, I don't know, I just kind of feel shit. I just kind of feel that I have been done over.
Yeah, it's just a bad thing. You know, we were talking about it 2 weeks ago because we didn't know when the buff was going to go live with him again, and then he all of a sudden came live. Like later that day, they announced him. And while I'm glad that we're finally getting him back, it took too long, in my opinion,
Yes.
for what little changes they did, and then to take up another slot after we already had a slot taken up earlier this year by him that got to removed. That was like a little bit of a slap in the face too. It's just there's a lot of thing with this buff that I think will be forever remembered.
Yeah, exactly. It's just whenever hood is mentioned.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Yeah.
It's kind of going to be one of those buffs that we remember for all the wrong reasons.
Pretty much. Well, at least
you know,
I do.
and,
but you never know. Maybe he's
being...
gonna be really good. Maybe I say that today, and 2 months later I'm gonna have a rank 3 hood or something. Who knows?
Yeah. And like I've said before, I've been a user of hood, especially on my baby account. He's been on my Alliance Quest team forever, like since I've been playing map 5 for sure. And I feel like if he ends up being better, great. I just don't want him to be worse than what he is now.
And it definitely does seem like it should have taken a week or a month max to fix and sort out and change, rather than 6 months. But
not 6 months to get basically a slight. It's pretty much the same buff with just slight tweaks.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Well,
so
that is where we're at. Like the final bit and the final angry bit. Since we already started growling at Kabam a bit. Alliance War changes. Tell me which is your favorite part about upcoming season 28 season 28.
The favorite thing coming from it?
Yeah, the favorite thing.
I guess we have Undo now. That's kind of nice. Sure.
Okay,
that's
and your
one of the nice
favorite
things.
thing?
I'm trying to think. I think there was something else that I liked about it too. You put me on the spot, man. I hate when you do that. Gosh, what else? I really can't think of a lot of positives with this thing. That's what I'm trying to think in my head. I mean, I know they have the undo, which is kind of nice, and maybe war attack tactics are finally going to be there. What else? I'm trying to think. What else was the positive changes?
Okay, no, actually, let's be real. There are positive
Yeah.
things, just not for me or most likely for us. That there
Yeah.
are several good changes for, let's say, tiers 3 and below. First of all,
Yeah,
the
3 and
undo button helps everybody okay. Then we have
Yeah.
how they changed the tier 1, where a lot of tier 2 alliances actually get to move up to tier 1, and there will be more tier 1 alliances, and therefore the entire matching and point scoring system is going to get a bit more fair. On top of that, your mid tiers, which I believe currently are tiers 3 to 5 or something like that, get the longer timer as well now. That means you can be timing out the bosses less.
Yeah.
So that is a good change for like the mid tiers, whoever plays the hard map basically. That is definitely good on them. So those things put together a kind of... I'd put them like in the green column. Those are good, undoubtedly. Unfortunately, none of them really affect me or any of the top tier alliance.
Yeah. The 5-minute timers is nice though. I think that's they toyed with it before, I remember. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be better than before if it's if everything else goes okay. But for the most part, like I said, this is not the greatest changes. A lot of the, especially for the tire wars, like they're gonna pick the defense tactic now, and you guys are all just stuck with it. While I don't disagree with the one they chose, the fact that you may get shafted with a crappy one, you know, a next season or something is really kind of crappy too. Not really liking that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's basically back to, instead of us choosing what you can do in the higher tier, it's back to the
told what to do. And
yeah, like
the argumentation was the most baffling thing here. They're basically saying to make it easier for officers so you don't have to like set up defenses for multiple tactics and shit like that. Or offensive strategies. First and foremost, there has, no matter which time of alliance war, there has always been one and only one attack tactic that's used in like 95% of the wars. And then another tactic that randomly gets thrown in here and there with no other reason to throw your opponent off if you're kind of like fighting top tier wars. But in general, if it's stubborn meta, it's stubborn meta. If it's flow meta, it's flow meta. If it's siphon meta, it's siphon meta, stuff like that. Taking that choice away artificially accomplishes exactly nothing in terms of making it easier for officers, because people chose the same tactic anyways, but had the option to go against the flow and pick something else. As in a legitimate war strategy. This just dumbs things down. Then, on top of that, from a player standpoint, this makes it shittier for every single person who is playing in Alliance that is doing Alliance War relatively dedicated, you know? If you do defensive rank ups, because like, what's the best way? Again, I know that my alliance is not like an average alliance and stuff like that, but that is more or less the case for most of the top tier alliances, where you do rank up champions for defense. You just do.
Right.
And which champions you end up ranking up for defense, well, it depends on kind of 2-3 things. One is obviously how defensively potent the champion is. Like, you know, there are champions that are better defenders than others. Like, we have Dr. Dooms, we have Nick Furies, and a whole bunch of other champions. Like, some of them are just great champions to begin with. But I don't know, Annihilus, for instance, on Mojo and stuff like that. They are always ranked and always placed pretty much just because they are pain in the bum. And then the rest of the champions get selected by what defensive tactic you have.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's one of those.
And like for me, I had done all my rank ups. I was very happy with the idea that I have ranked up everything that I will need to rank up because we have defensive plan covered. And right now, like more than likely, I'm gonna end up having to rank up some more, and so will my teammates and stuff like that. Because all of a sudden, with a few weeks' notice, we have to pull another like 15, 20 champion rank ups out of our rectum in order to be able to place them on defense as like, you know, ranked up as possible. Which is going to be another point in our rant here. It's going to be super important now because of tiebreaker that they fucking introduced in the most moronic way.
Oh, this is so stupid. The tiebreaker they chose is so stupid.
Yeah, that's literally the worst way, the worst tiebreaker that I could come up with. Literally the worst tiebreaker. So for those of you who do not know, the tiebreaker is fine duration now. Which is shit. And let me explain exactly why. Now, I did it in my rant video, but I'm going to basically briefly summarize it here. Basically, the alliance who spends less time fighting wins if you both die equal amount of times, which is something that happens a lot recently because Alliance War maps, well, they have been stale for many, many seasons, and the map hasn't changed aside from specific X amount of nodes that people will get used to relatively soon, and it's going to go back to being sub 5 death wars total again, and a lot of ties with like 2 deaths and 3 deaths and stuff like that. I think like New Nation had like 2 ties out of 6 wars last season. and so did plenty of others alliances. And ties happen a lot. So it's not just some sort of theoretical, you know, maybe once in 3 seasons kind of thing. It happens a lot because Kabam has fucked war up. And right now, the tie will be determined based on whichever alliance has less time fighting. Now, on paper, it might make kind of sense if you have never played the game from player perspective, that is. But if you are a player that plays this game, that you will immediately realize that if you are a smaller alliance, like even ASR, like we are one of the tougher war alliances, but we by no means have like the most jacked accounts with like barely AQ top 10. It's not like it really applies to us, but it more applies even to like New Nation and a whole bunch of other alliances who are just like really, really good and skilled, but they don't have like, you know, the biggest whales, the biggest rosters. And previously it didn't matter so long as you got your job done, and if you were playing with shittier attackers and having shittier defense, but still managed to kind of like punch upwards in your weight, then it was a tie. Now it will be a loss for no other reason that your defenders did not have as much HP as your opponent's defenders did. So even though morally you should deserve the victory because you are the one who performed more impressive feat, you did the harder fights with shittier options, and you fought to stand still with like a bigger alliance who had easier job fighting lesser opponents. So by like all reasonable, I don't know, judgments of war, like, you know, that tie would be your moral victory, but it's gonna be your defeat now because you didn't have as jacked up defenders or attackers. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's kind of like if you if there's an alliance that has all rank 3 attackers, and if there's an alliance that has all rank 5 5-star attackers, and none of them die ever, which one of them did more impressive feat? The ones that use 5 stars or the ones that use 6-star rank 3s and rank 4s soon?
Yeah. You know what bothers me the most about it is that when it comes down to that, you're also put in a position where you're putting that unneeded pressure on you that you got to finish fights quickly now. Where I've always told my alliance mates, look, you got 5 minutes.
I know.
Play smart.
Yeah, that is another thing.
Now it's just doing stupid things.
Yeah, and then there is the biggest thing that I have not mentioned yet, and there is like the most literal blatant thing that I have not proper mentioned here yet because I find it really disgusting. On equal terms, let's assume that both alliances have more or less equal offense and defense, and both alliances, you know, are equally matched. The literal difference here will be whichever one bought more boosts. Because if you have 30% attack boost, or 50% attack boost, as in like 30% champion boost and 20% attack boost, right? So if you're using the big boost pack, you're going to obviously be finishing fights quicker and with less hits than the opponent who's maybe using, you know, the medium boost pack with 10 and 20% boost or something like that.
Right.
So this literally tiebreaker will be decided in top tiers by which alliance has more money for boosts.
Yep. 100%. And that's so stupid. It's become... They did all the changes to war that probably made it the worst without doing anything.
And what pisses me off, pretty much nobody has also like properly made videos about it or commented or anything like that. It's so frustrating. And somebody asking here, what would be...
I don't know if it's...
Anyways,
I don't know if it's because we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, maybe.
But, I mean, you should be able to realize what the bad things are going to happen.
But anyhow, I know these things, no, but who asked here, what are the better alternatives for tiebreakers? Well, one non-perfect, but infinitely better option is hits received. Whichever alliance get hit less.
Yep.
That's it.
That would be perfect. Hits received.
I'm not necessarily saying it is perfect because there are champions that involve in their strategy for you to get hit and stuff like that. But it still would be infinitely better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean you're gonna have people that bring maybe an Aegon that want to get hit.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Aegon. Sometimes you want to get hit, or Thing. Or, well, Thing not an alliance, really, but still, it could be part of strategy, or it could be Mangog involves you getting hit on purpose, and probably a couple of other champions. But
Yeah.
but still, it would be so much better.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know. I don't think there's much more we can really say other than just we expected little and are still disappointed.
Yeah, you know. In generally, like, these changes are just shit. And
They're
then
not
there
what
are
we
the last
needed.
bits of changes to the nodes themselves, which also pissed me off because they...
Oh my god, don't get me started with that boss island. That pisses me off.
Well, then
Not because I use those champions, just because I think it's stupid.
Yeah, because well, first of all, we have node 1 now with heal block. Node 10
Heal block is
now
a
with heal
favorite.
block.
Yeah.
Node 27 now with short burst lockdown that includes heal block.
Oh, hey, who block? I've never seen
yeah,
that.
did you
node
notice
before.
a heal block there? Ooh. Then they changed a
seen
bunch
it
more
in
nodes
that,
that
yeah.
already had heal blocks, and obviously then we... Oh, and this one they gave aspect of evolution to EMP modification node to make it even more specific, which is fucking awesome.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Where's that EMP modification? Yeah, here we go. Node 24. EMP modification now has aspect of evolution. So it's fucking awesome. I discovered something to bring Doc and AW. Yeah, I read that. I read one. That I want to check that out actually. That might be very, very interesting. I don't know. Might be time to rank up Dr. Octopus.
Who knows? Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so we have aspect of evolution on the EMP modification node, and we have Chitonius taunts on the buffet node now, and they put safeguard on that silly recovery node. That is going to be a problem.
Stupid.
And obviously,
That
the
is
biggest
really
change is the
stupid.
boss island. All of the boss island has true sense.
Yeah. But I mean, whatever. You know what? The more we talk about, the more I'm just gonna get upset about it. So all I can say is it's crap, and I'm not happy about it.
The more we talk about it.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
I'm just so done right now with war. I'm almost to the point where it's, their off seasons are taking forever. Things are messed up.
Oh yeah, and there was another thing that we didn't really mention in war, but I just want to say that it also really does piss me off. Is that they changed the defensive tactic that slow your roll and whatever the way where's the untouchables. New description: whenever the defender evades whenever the defender evades or causes an attack to miss, they gain 50% of bar power over 2.5 seconds. If the defender's evade or miss abilities fail while they're suffering from slow or concussion, they instead gain 50% of bar power. It's like, what the actual fuck? And considering that they are forcing us to use an offensive tactic that has us do slow, as in like slow your roll. It's just, I would be happy if I could, not turn on this offensive tactic, because I don't want slow.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you're now being punished.
Or at the very least, it does.
We couldn't even use last
in best
month,
case scenario, it does nothing, but in some cases, yeah, it does punish. And anyways, it's just, I don't know. It's just shit. All of it is through and through fucking shit.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't want to even talk about it anymore. I'm just thinking it's bad. It's bad. I don't see anybody happy about it.
I know, especially White Mommy put together such a good proposal for them. For half a year, we are crying for a new map, and Kabam all the time goes like,
"Nah, it'll be fine."
And they just, honestly, last 3 announcements have made Alliance War consecutively worse. Alliance War was better when Stubborn tactic was like the main tactic. Ever since they took away Stubborn, every single announcement made Alliance War slightly more shit. slightly more shit.
If they went back 5 seasons and had that stubborn tactic, I think everyone would be happy again. Just because at
Yeah,
least it's
I
something
sure
we
shit would enjoy
understand.
playing stubborn more than whatever this is.
This is all crap. Anyway.
Uh, and
So yeah,
and yeah, in
that's
general, like, if you guys don't know too much about me, Alliance War is pretty much my favorite team game mode. Largely the reason why I still play this game, for the most part, has been the Alliance War. And obviously I have my ups and downs with it, and so does my Alliance and stuff like that, but I do take it seriously every single time. But for the last half a year, it has been impossible to become, like, fully invested in Alliance War, just because you run out of shit to give, because Kabam clearly doesn't have any.
right.
And yeah, the entire game mode just reeks of shit. It needs change. It needs a lot of change.
Yeah.
It needs a new
I
map.
don't know.
Likely needs a new season format.
That's like a whole. We could make a whole.
Yeah.
If there ever was a week we have no news, like that could be an entire thing
Yeah.
we could
Oh
go
yeah.
over on
I
one
could be
KT
talking
talk.
about Alliance War for so long, because it is by far the most kind of like. It's a game mode that I think has a very special role in a lot of players' hearts, because this is as close as we can potentially get to facing and other teams and alliances and players. You know, Alliance Quest doesn't have that. Alliance Quest is all about money and spending and prestige. And then there's nothing else really that can replace it at the moment in game. And it's important for a lot of people.
Yep.
And it's
Well,
being
like I
just
said,
horribly, brutally mismanaged.
I think we've beaten this dead horse enough, KT.
Yeah,
Honest
no,
truth.
that's fine. But yeah, that is about it. So hopefully we do not have to play more than one season of this shit. I really hope so.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have some more changes coming.
Good changes, I would say. Hopefully.
But that will be it for today's KT time. We already took more of your time than we meant to. I hope you guys
But
enjoyed
thank
it.
you all. Yeah, thank you all for being here.
For
I want to say
sure.
that first off.
Huge thank
And
you
we
to
have always
Mandalorian
appreciate
as
you.
well, obviously.
Oh no, always a pleasure of mine. Thank you. And I'm sorry I've been gone again, but I had. You guys can't hear it. I've had some allergy stuff up things where I would have been sniffing your brains out. Let me just put it that way.
It's all good, man.
So,
But yeah, so we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I will be back by myself. And tomorrow evening, hopefully Mando will keep us company as well.
yeah, I should. I have my IV treatment in the late morning, but as long as I feel okay, I'll be back. So yeah.
And yeah, well then there's not much left aside from wishing you all wonderful Sunday evening.
Yeah. Be safe. Have some grind.
Don't do anything I wouldn't
enjoy
do.
time. Enjoy time with the family if that's your thing. Enjoy time
Yeah.
doing whatever makes you happy, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. And if today's your birthday, happy birthday.
And yeah, see ya.
Bye.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the
I'm in danger!